Well, we're back as transfer deadline day looms at Bristol City, and we may well be raiding my club Luton Town again. That is the Bristol City way after all. It's been an unbeaten start, but still a pretty frustrating one. And if we can keep hold of Alex Scott for just one more day, I'll be pretty happy, so long as he ends his unhappiness. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 3 of Built in Bristol with me, Daniel, powered by HelloFresh. We are here today with Huddersfield, the team in town. Neil Warnock bringing his side to try and spoil our party. Or are we going to spoil it ourselves? Because at the moment, as you can see at the top right of the screen, in spite of an unbeaten start, we have got a little bit of frustration in that we're not scoring goals and we're not looking fluent in front of goal. So we're going to try and address that today, but Tommy Conway and Alex Scott both away on international duty. So the under-21 window falling outside of the senior one is definitely going to be a problem during this season. Of course, the World Cup break will be the usual time most go away, but for the under-21s, it's a little bit different, which may pose us some issues. However, we're going to try and deal with that on deadline day today. We'll have a little look at the transfer action after we've got through this match. So if you're looking forward to it, then please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Can we sneak into that top half this year? Well, we might be helped by what's going on elsewhere. We go and have a look at the transfers. We have got 2 potential loans coming in. My word, one of them was a surprise to me. Jordan Clark, Luton Town regular starter, transfer listed bizarrely in game. He is now available and we're going to try and get him on loan. We can't really afford his wages for a permanent because he suddenly wants 400 times what he's earning. But we are going to try and get him on loan for the year as a versatile midfielder, as someone who can play 4 of the 5 positions we use in our midfield, and a player who can add a bit of championship ready quality as well as some service from wide areas. So thrilled if we can get him in. I'm also potentially gambling on Lyle Taylor. I mentioned about getting a taller version of Nahki Wells and someone who could maybe deal with the aerial threat from the longer ball as well. And Lyle Taylor seems to be the best of those available, but the wage demands are quite a lot, so we'll have to see if I'm happy to let that one go. In terms of the transfers done though, we have had one more player in. Of course, you knew that Ross McCrory was on the way in the last episode. He joined for 325 grand from Aberdeen. He'll rotate with Joe Williams and can also cover in defence. We've also then brought in another midfielder in Alfie McCalmont. He popped up in our scout reports for £19,000 and he's someone who was on loan at Carlisle, was doing well in League 2. So you can see he's not got the best ability, but he's got big potential. So we've brought him in permanently. We've loaned him straight back out to Carlisle and he'll go and play the season in League 2. Weirdly though, they don't want him as a senior player now, which I find a bit odd. He was starting every game and now he's gone back and he's only playing off the bench. So I'm not sure what's caused that. But the rest of it is all looking pretty good. 2 players that could add big quality to our squad in the next day or so and without any long-term commitment. But for now, we have had a pretty good start to the season and one disaster in the cup. So you were with me for the 3-1 win at Hull. Great effort on the road from Harry Cornick there. A 3-0 win followed at home to Sunderland with Nahki Wells, Harry Cornick and Tommy Conway getting one apiece. A 2-0 disaster at Cambridge in the cup. We were appalling with our backup side. A 3-1 win away at Wigan, Nahki Wells with an early penalty before Reece Williams from a set piece and Tommy Conway again off the bench. A Nahki Wells goal got a 1-1 draw against Luton, and then 2 dominant performances against Cardiff and Blackpool garnered no goals. Alex Scott out of form and unhappy, Nahki Wells playing atrociously, not much from Cornick off the right. And it is something we mentioned with this team, isn't it? Good players, but are they consistent enough? And in the experienced players' case, are they fit enough to play 2 or 3 games a week at top quality? We've got a little bit less fixture congestion next month due to the international window, but then October is a bit of a disaster. So I'm not particularly optimistic for now. But with 12 points out of 6 from the start, I'm hopeful that at the very least, we can now stay clear of that relegation battle and push on towards the top 12, which is what the board want, even though the media don't expect it. At home to Huddersfield, we face a side that in Neil Warnock can never be doubted. This is the team we're going to go for it. It's a bit of a shame we didn't get Clark in time because he could have replaced Alex Scott. I thought about Mehmeti in the number 10 position, but in the end, I've gone for a bit of a change around in the front 4. I've put Sykes out to the right instead, with Weimer moving in one and Cornick switching sides, which I hope will be a fruitful endeavour. The rest of the team very much stays the same though. It's the back five that played the last game, the back seven in fact, with Matty James back to fitness, and then the only change is the enforced one. Tommy Conway not on the bench. We see he is a big goal threat off there. That could be crucial as well. And we are a little light on attacking options off the substitutes bench, so I'm hoping that Clark and Taylor can maybe change that this year. Let's go and get through to the Huddersfield game, see if we can sneak a goal. We're finding that teams are now setting up pretty cautiously against us, and we are really struggling to break it down. You can see Huddersfield, they've got a decent side, so how are they going to get on here? Let's tell the lads we're doing all right. Can we push on? We're still not getting that much of a reaction out of them, but we go into the first half with a good attendance again at Ashton Gate. There is potential for this club to be massive if we can get it right, but without a couple of our young stars here, maybe it's a blessing in disguise, I don't know, because Alex Scott has been so unhappy in this window. If we can get him back and he can end that after the September international break, you never know, we could be in a better position for it. But here we are in the first 10 minutes. Are we going to be adding Jordan Clark to Naismith and Cornick in our ex-Luton team? As Naismith gets the ball wide to Pring, we're on the front foot with 15 gone. In behind the Cornick, he's coming off the left, into Vyman who's missed a sitter. It's been the story of the last few games, to be honest. We've created some excellent chances. We've played glorious football. And we've missed 3 or 4, like, real sitters in the animation engine. They look howlers. So I'm hoping that won't continue, as Reece Williams gets it at the back to his namesake Joe. Through ball to Sykes, who's in the team today. 3 in the middle. Wells is one of them. And he's got his goal after 2 stinking performances in the last week. Naki Wells, he's going to score enough, isn't he? And even if he has one good game in 2 or 3, he's going to win us enough for the top half. 1-0 up against Huddersfield, as they've gone for a long ball downfield, which is back with Cal Naismith. 25 on the clock and a dominant display as Sykes gets it on the right. He has started well. Finds Tanner at right back, into Matty James and over the top to Sykes again. Options in the middle, it's saved to Andy Vyman and he's managed to slide it in. Apologies for the hay fever effective voice, but Andy Vyman is back amongst the goals. And at 2-0 with 26 gone, oh, I'm feeling like a new man today. All that frustration just washing away. 2-0 against Huddersfield. Well, as we approach half-time, there's not much occurring. The only issues here are going to be fitness because, of course, we're playing 3 games a week at the minute and we are keeping an eye on the weekend. If we can get a third, then maybe we start resting people because you can see Reece James is struggling. Reece Williams is struggling. Matty James also a little bit off. And the likes of Cornick and Vyman are going to be important come the weekend. As the ball's given away by them again. Matty James to Cornick. Can he cap off a very good performance? You bet he can off the left-hand side. I don't remember seeing him score many with his left over the years, but that is a good enough finish. We are comfortably through here. And that is going to be 3 points. We'll see out this corner, and then we'll make the subs. We can get youngsters on too, as Reece Williams heads that one over the bar. Bit of a shame we haven't got Scott and Conway, really. It would be good for them today. But Reece Williams is going to get a rest. Rob Atkinson will come on. Or will it be Viner? Because he's a right footer, it's a bit more natural for him to play there. Could do both in theory, because Naismith is not the most naturally fit. I am going to do both. We're going to go for Viner, and we're going to go for Rob Atkinson. I'm not worried about Tanner, because I'm happy to bring Wilson in a game if need be. Sykes has been brilliant off the right. I'm going to look at natural fitness before deciding who to give a rest here. So Cornick's not the best. Matty James I know is not the best, and Joe Williams is not either. So we're going to go for Ross McCrory, we're going to go for Anis Mehmeti, and we're also going to go for Sam Bell, and they will be the 5 substitutes. Jay Da Silva and Atkinson have to stay on there. Well, sorry, Kane Wilson has to stay on there. But this should be job done. So we look ahead to the weekend. We've got another tough game coming up. But so far, despite the frustration of 1 or 2 games without a real threat in front of goal, and given the unhappiness of Alex Scott, given the fact we've not been able to bring in enough players just yet, this is a really good start. And I know on paper, we have got to temper expectations. We've played a lot of the sides expected to be down there this year. As Wells taps in for 4 after Bell's shot is saved. It's been a great performance, but we're played against sides that have traditionally been bottom half. We've played Huddersfield today, just stayed up in real life. We've played against Hull already, who finished in the bottom half. We've already played against Luton, which is a tough one to get out of the way. But then in the last couple of weeks, we've drawn with Cardiff in the derby. We've not been able to get the win against a side that nearly got relegated in real life. And if you look at our fixtures overall, it has been a nice start to the season on paper. Having said that, a brilliant win. and we're still in the playoff positions. We've got to be pleased. And getting that positive start with a few additions hopefully coming in will only be a good thing for the rest of the year. But if we look at that schedule overall, I mean, look at last year's table. Wigan went down. Cardiff were in the bottom half. Blackpool went down. Huddersfield nearly went down. Hull were lower mid-table. And it's only really Sunderland and Luton that were pushing on. So we've not played the greatest opposition so far. Norwich away, Burnley away. That might be a bit of a tougher test next month. Even Blackburn away as well. But for now, we're very pleased with how we've started. We've got a loan offer for De Silva, offering no wages or monthly contribution. So obviously we're not going to accept that. We get 50 grand to Carlisle for Tanner. We get 500 grand from the Lloyd Kelly transfer. There's a little bonus to finish off the day. It's just a shame we couldn't get Mads Andersen, because if we'd got that one done, I'd be really thrilled with the position we're in. I might have another go on deadline day, just see if the work permit's any better. But for now, a very good start to the season. We'll be back tomorrow morning for all the trials and tribulations of deadline day. Well, back for deadline day. We did have a little look at Anderson, but they now wanted double the deal we agreed a month ago, so no go on that front. Enzo Biomo is another one that was looked at from Albacete, but again, work permit issues are going to be the bane of our life. So we leave that one too. It's just a case of whether Clark and Taylor come in. Do we get any offers that force Alex Scott out of the club, or are we going to be all right? Let's take part in deadline day, see how we get on. And in a moment, we'll be back to run through the news. Well, first transfer news of the day, and it's not something that is actually deadline day related as such, because Carl McFadzean has been released by Coventry. He's someone who popped up in a rumour mill as linked with Bristol City, and we are a bit short of centre-half, so I'm happy to have a look at him. If he's someone who can be good off the pitch, if he's someone who wants to be a coach, whatever, he could be a good addition. So we'll bring him in on trial, see how he does the next week or two, and then make a decision on him. Jay De Silva may well be leaving. If we get a good enough offer, I'm happy to let him go. But otherwise, it's just about getting those two additions in. And hopefully with 12 hours to go, there won't be too much competition. Well, we might have an immediate change to that plan, because Carl McFadzean is rated initially by the coaches as one of the best players at this football club. Only Cal Naismith and Alex Scott are 4-star ability, so potentially Carl McFadzean is up there with the very best. We'll keep an eye on that, and of course we will try and get him in if we need to. But still, no action on the other two yet, and no offers for Alex Scott, which is probably a good thing. Well, here is the first big news of deadline day, and it is some that I am very excited about. Anyone who watched the Championship playoff final will know why I want Jordan Clark in. He is a class act. He's 28 years of age. Once described by Nathan Jones as the best free agent ever, you're probably not in too much disagreement after the last few years. He's versatile, he's high quality, he's Championship ready. And with him on loan from Luton, we're paying less than £4,000 a week in wages. 3k a week, that is a steal. For 1 year, while we're trying to build off the pitch before we make the big push. I mean, that's a gem of a signing. I'm thrilled with that. Let's see if Lyle Taylor joins that crew as well. But at the moment, this is looking exciting. We have got 10 hours to go. We're going to meet Jordan Clark in a minute. Well, there we go. We're not managing Luton Town, but we have got another Luton player into the club. He joins Cornick and Naismith. Jordan Clark, clicker, you are the man. He has 3-star ability on the right of midfield, in the centre of midfield, and as a number 10. Offers us versatility in 4 roles and offers us Championship quality in all of them. What a signing that is. Absolutely thrilled. And you can see just above it as well, as Matty James welcomes into the club, that we have got Lyle Taylor agreeing to join. A bit more of a wage contribution, but I feel it's worth it on a 1-year deal. Maybe it is a chance for us to push on and try and nick the playoffs this year. I know I'm getting optimistic after a half-decent start against poorer teams, but Lyle Taylor is still firepower at this level. Naki Wells is not great every game, and particularly in those away ones where we've not really got someone who can hold the ball up. I feel Lyle Taylor gives us that option. So again, being sensible, no long-term wage commitments. Again, half the amount of Kalasov, previous biggest earner when we got here. And another 3-star ability player who is going to add depth in an area we didn't have it. You saw the problems we had on Tuesday night with the bench. Only Sam Bell and then Jay De Silva as a covering left winger. Lyle Taylor and Jordan Clark add to that. We've got 2 excellent players in. The board and the fans are happy with both. And at the moment, I couldn't be much more happy with the squad. We've still got 10 hours left, and we know that Alex Scott has got interest elsewhere. So let's see if his unhappiness gets worse. He has requested a transfer once this summer, but no offers so far today. And if we don't have any now, you won't see me until the deadline passes. Well, can I just say that this might be the biggest club to come in for Alex Scott so far, but it is the most pathetic of offers. They're offering to pay 40% of his wages, which are $2,000 a week, by the way. Come on, Dortmund. They're offering to pay about, 750 grand over the year, and then 1.9 million if they win the Bundesliga, plus 1.6 in installments. You're offering me 3.5 million. You are pathetic. Get out of here. Alex Scott will no doubt throw his toys out the pram. He wanted to join Brighton earlier in the summer. I'm sure he's no different with Dortmund. I just hope that he'll end that unhappiness after the window and go on to have the good season he did in real life. We'll wait and find out the answers to that. But 9 hours to go, and the pressure is still building. Look how many clubs want him. Surprise! It's another one with 2 hours to go, and it's another name that might be familiar to some. Jack Hendry is a centre-half who is coming from Club Brugge on loan. We had the option to go permanent, but I'm not sure it was the right one. He did fail his medical because he's got a slip disc, but we can get the deal done. And with it being a season loan on a relatively low wage, there's no real risk in the long term. So Jack Hendry will come in. Of course, in real life, he's gone off to Saudi to play for Steven Gerrard's team. But from Club Brugge, we signed the Scottish centre-half. Let's see how good he is, because we're signing him half-blind. We know he's a decent player. I know him in real life, but I'm not sure if he's going to be good enough to start for this team. So let's find out how well he compares. We were actually linked with Tom Lockyer earlier in the day, the Luton captain. Again, don't know why, but game made by a Watford fan is self-sabotaging Luton. Who would have thought it? We've got 2 hours remaining. Let's continue and see how good Jack Hendry is, because he is into the club. He is 3.5-star ability, which would suggest he's going to be good enough to start for this club. He will come in and play regularly, ahead of Reece Williams, you'd imagine. So let's see how good he is. We have got a report on him that suggests he is as good as Cal Naismith as centre-half. Oh, he's very good. Maybe not the quickest again, but strong in the air, strong in the tackle, positionally good, mentally strong, and a current Scottish international. There are a lot of good signs in that kid. He is 27, so whether we go on and sign him permanently probably depends on whether he has an outstanding season. Injury, of course, the worry initially. With 2 hours to go, should be the final edition. It's a very good one, and there's been no more offers for Scott either. It's turning into the perfect day. Well, the transfer deadline has now passed, and it was almost 4 loan additions on deadline day. Rangers' Scott Wright agreed a loan deal, but just didn't get done quite in time. He could have been an extra addition out there, but for now, I think we would be very hard-pressed to complain after the day we've had. We go through to the transfers. On deadline day, we added Jordan Clark, Lyle Taylor and Jack Hendry on loan for the year, all with relatively manageable wage contributions, 22 grand a week in total, less than Callas was earning on his own when we got here. We managed to get an upgrade at centre-half for that and 2 good attacking players. We've signed some good youngsters that are now out on loan in EFL, which could be our future permanent solutions for next year. I mean, overall, it's been a really good window. Add to that, we've started pretty well this season, albeit against weaker sides, and I think we're looking in pretty good nick. I would imagine that the next month or so is probably going to be a little bit tougher because we're playing some of the biggest sides away from home. However, from now, it's about deciding when it's best to come back, and I'm feeling to do 2 of the 3 before the World Cup break, because I know it's a big run of games before, but I want to get through a few seasons. I want to get through the tricky away games and not bore you with me trying to get a 0-0. So we're going to come back for 2 of Sheffield United, Middlesbrough and Watford. We've not got any cup games to worry about, so this is it now until the World Cup. And hopefully we'll be able to stay in good form against some of those better sides. Now we've got a bit of added quality in the squad. It will certainly help us when we've got 2 or 3 games a week. That will be crucial come the end of the season, but for now, our wage bill is only the 16th biggest in the division. I feel we've had a really good day. Burnley have done loads of good deals, of course you would expect that. But will they run away with the league in this universe? For us, we've managed to bring in some very good championship players. So if you're looking forward to the rest of the season and seeing if we can build on that positive start there, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. One of 2 sides remaining unbeaten with Burnley. I'm sure they've had a much trickier start than us. If you want to stay up to date and find out how the rest of the season goes, whether we can beat the top half teams in the division as well as the bottom half ones, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We're back with the Builder Nation tomorrow as a new season starts there. A huge one in the summer transfer window too. And don't forget, you've got the Twitch channel for regular live streams, the football podcast where we've got championship predictions every single match day. They're up in the eye above. And then there's links in the description to everything else, including HelloFresh UK. If you want to give that a try, you can find my special discount code or just use the link to get money off for the first 2 months. I've done it many a time before and would highly recommend it. But thank you for watching. Your support is always appreciated. A very successful deadline day at Bristol City. Now can we back it up for the rest of the season? Because the championship playoff race is very much open. I'll see you next time to find out if we can stay in there.